Hey guys, thanks for jumping on another episode of Whiteboard Training. I'm going to talk to you tonight about running an effective meeting. And this could be staff, this could be sales, this could be management, a manager's meeting, leaders, call them whatever you want. How to run an effective meeting, whether it was real estate, waste management, life insurance. When I worked at the state of Connecticut as a social worker, I ran all these meetings. I had my own staff. There I had 3 or 4. Real estate, I had 5 or 6. Waste management, about the same. And then life insurance, 29, 30 full-time employees and thousands of agents. I've run sales meetings with 2 people. I've run them with 12,000 people. And then I've run managers meetings with 1 or 2 people, probably up to 400 or 500. So I've run all these meetings. And I think you need to learn how to be effective. First of all, everybody, and I mean everybody, participates. Now, when there's 12,000 people, that's a massive meeting. Participation is done a different way. You're probably not going to run a meeting with 12,000 people. Let's just be honest, and there's nothing wrong with that, right? Let's talk about what it looks like for them to participate in these meetings. Let's say you got 1 to 10 staff members. And I've done this wrong. Matter of fact, the biggest lesson I learned when I was running the insurance company and we got to like 10 employees was I would have them in once a week, staff meeting. I'd sit them down, I'd sit at the head table, and I'd go through about an hour, hour and a half about what we're doing good, what we're doing bad, and then really kind of as an afterthought, anybody have any questions? Not so good, right? We moved, and I did multiple things in the meeting, so hear me out. On staff meetings, I think it's really important to give them time together without you. But you have to build good culture to do that, and we've talked a lot about that here in Whiteboard Training. And so you have to do something. So I went from weekly to bi-weekly. So I'd go every other week, right? 1 week they would meet. They would meet themselves. The next week I would meet with them. They would update me on what they went over. Every department had a spokesperson, and that spokesperson rotated. So like if you're like, hey, here's the sales department, here's the lead department, here's the quality department, whatever it happened to be, and they would rotate so I could hear from everybody all the time, right? And then I went to a point where the meetings were they still met every week. I think they needed touch base every week. They went to once a month. And then I would let them talk about what they're working on in here, what the greatest strength they had in their organization or the department, and then their biggest obstacle. And whether they had a solution or not, I wanted the obstacle. So I went in that meeting, wanted to know each one of my departments, let's say we had, again, contracting, leads, sales, marketing, compliance. I wanted to know the biggest strength they believed they had at that time and the biggest challenge, weakness, obstacle they were dealing with. If they couldn't come up with an obstacle, that meant they weren't looking to grow it, because an obstacle is what prevents you from growing or scaling it. If you don't think there's any obstacles, you're not looking to grow or scale it. You're looking to maintain it. I wasn't looking to maintain it. I want to grow or scale it. And I want to know what their biggest strength was, because I wanted to, quite frankly, be able to talk good about what they're doing, and hopefully these would rotate. Like every time it can't be, we're really good at generating this one lead. Okay, well, that was what you've been good at for 9 weeks. Then your biggest obstacle is we don't find a way to be diverse in our lead distribute. We can't create those leads. We can't distribute extra leads. We can only create one lead type, right? So walking through all those departments. But a huge part of it was participation. And when I hired people, I told them that. Same thing when I did my sales meetings. I found a way to facilitate and let other people. My goal with my sales meetings, and most of them were 30, 40, 50, 60, 100 people, honestly, was getting people up in front of the room and getting them to participate. I wanted 50% of the people that spoke to be top producers, regardless of how long they've been there. Then I wanted the other 50% of people to speak that were new. They could have made their first sale, their 10th sale, hired their first agent, hit a milestone as a manager. And new to me, I really, really knew was definitely less than 1 year. But I really was hoping I'd get some folks that were 90 days. Because I didn't want to forget in that sales meeting What a lot of folks, they make the mistake is they do it based on seniority, and you get 15 people who have been in the business for 20, 30 years. And hell, most of them, the time's passed by, they ain't any good anymore anyway, and they might have been good back in the day. Or let's even take people that are really good. They've been there 2, 3, 4, 5 years, and they're the top salespeople, and they're killing it. Well, what percentage of the meeting's new? Usually 50%. So 50% of them are watching. They're like, dude, I know he's good, but he's been there 2, 3, 4 years. I just ran my first sale. I just ran my first 7 appointments. I'm just trying to hire my new agent. And then all of a sudden, we give them 50% of people are as new as they are. And they're like, damn, I can connect with him. Because when you go to sales meeting, you're trying to give enough diversity so everybody can kind of gravitate towards one person or one procedure or one script or one demeanor. So you're trying to give them plenty, right? And then when you're running your leaders and your managers meeting, same deal. 50% is my top managers. 50% are going to be newer managers. Less than a year. Hey, let's hear it for Tom. Just got promoted. Good job, Tom. A lot of recognition too. Recognition of staff meetings, sales meetings, managers meetings. And unfortunately, what most people do is they give 90%, it's not even 80-20, of the recognition of 10% of the people. And they go, well, I'm going to keep doing it because these other guys got to get in line. Hey, by the way, the 10% of people you recognize them for a year, 2, 3, they already know they're good. And they're probably going to be good either way. Like me, I'm not a recognition guy, just so you know. I win for my teammates and for myself, just so you know. So if you're my coach or you're my leader, I ain't winning for you. Sorry. I have a lot of coaches I've liked a lot and a lot of them I love. I play for my teammates and for me. So you don't have an effect on me. I'm a bad coach. Can I win? Like, is it a layout where I can win? Now, if you intentionally come in and go, I'm taking him out of the game, I'm calling this play, and you screw it up, then you have an effect on the overall team. I'm still going to play as hard as I possibly can. You're not going to, but I'm an anomaly. It doesn't make me right. I could be 100% wrong. I don't know that I'm really right. I can be right or wrong, but you can say I'm wrong. Most people, they'll say people will work for a job and run through, or work for money and run through a wall for recognition. And I'm like, dude, I will run through the wall for money to take care of my family and to give back to places that need money. I won't run through the wall for recognition, but most people will. And you have to identify, and by the way, most people will. So I had to learn. How did I learn that? Through these meetings. How did I learn it through the meetings? Getting people to participate. I started doing that, giving recognition. And certainly, we want to make sure people got more money. And I started watching. Now, ideally, I want to give them both, right? But there are times I realized how far just basic recognition goes. First of all, it does feel good. Now, I don't run through the wall for it, but if you're my coach and you say, hey, good job, I do feel good when you do that. I'm a human being. Of course I feel good. If you're my manager and I made sales, you're like, he did good. As long as I respect you, I'm appreciative. And again, that's important. Those that are being recognized, if they don't respect you, it kind of doesn't matter. So what does that mean, Sean? If you're running a meeting and you're doing recognition, you only need to let the people that actually are respected by their results provide the recognition. Because when they give it, those people are out of their minds, which means you get more people to participate. You go to your leaders, you go, hey, we're giving out the top 10 rookie people this week. Can you go ahead and give these awards out? I want you to do it. Hey, we have our new managers hit a milestone. Can you go ahead and hand this? Actually, he said or she said they connected with you and found. Could you give them the award? Hey, we're doing the staff meeting. And listen, your department's killing it and you guys had this obstacle and you changed it. Can you speak? And we want to give the employee of the week the award, but can you give the employee of the week award? And now your peer becomes your coach, your cheerleader. For the next week, it could be, we're all interchangeable. And what that says is you're not under me and I'm not over you, and I'm not under you and you're not over me. That becomes good culture as you run your effective meetings. But running an effective meeting is like a game of chess. It's not checkers. Where you sit people. There are meetings where I put out name tags and tell them where to sit. There are meetings that I don't. What's the difference? I might have a leadership group that's been around for a while. I might not really, honestly, might be like, I'd like to see where they sit. See, a lot of people put name tags out. You never get to know who's talking to who. I take a step back and I'm like, people are like, let me put that. I'm like, no, dude, let them sit wherever they want. And then I get to see, I'm like, oh shit, that makes sense. These three are really negative about everything, and they sat together. I didn't even know they knew each other. They live across the country. And these 7 are killing it. And these are like, they're like their own little group, man. Like, oh shit. And then this dude, he's not really bought into anything. He ain't really part of any group. He's kind of doing his own thing. Let me see if I can get him more involved, or does he want to be more involved? Sometimes letting them sit where they want tells you about everything you need to know about the organization. Same with staff meetings. I just go like, hey, we're meeting in conference room B, 9 a.m. I walk in, I get to know. Do the departments sit together? Do they not? Does this one sit with that one? So you have to understand full transparency, participation, recognition, involvement, challenging. You know what feels good? When you challenge somebody, and by the way, in an environment where nobody pulls against or talks shit about anybody else. So no matter what their answer is, strengths, weakness, obstacles, we work through it together. We do it together. We do not try to harm each other. And by the way, everybody in that room, together, we get to a place where they can all make more money, have more equity, have more bonuses, whatever it happens to be, because we're in this together. One big team. That's how you run an effective meeting, whether it's staff, sales, management, leadership meeting, hell, board meeting. You have to understand how to do this. It is chess. It ain't checkers. You have to be effective when you do that. You can see the astronomical growth. Empowerment. They can run the meeting with or without you. Don't talk at them, talk with them. Be next to people. Don't talk down like they're below you, because they're not, and it's a very thin line. So appreciate jumping on Whiteboard Talk. If you like this video, please like, subscribe, share. Send this to somebody that doesn't run a meeting right or does run a meeting right, or go like, hey, you should check this out. Thank you for your support as always, and I appreciate your time.